So I get a lot of people messaging me, a fair few amount of people sending me messages on Instagram or whatever, and asking me about how do I get my images sharp, or that they struggle to get sharp photographs. They're always coming out blurry or just not quite right. A lot of these people will say, Henry, I use the same camera as you. I've got the same lens, even the same camera lens combination. And the quality of my images is rubbish in comparison. So I wanted to share a little technique that I use when I'm out on location taking photographs with you guys today, and it's really, really simple, super easy to follow. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it in today's video, and hopefully try and get some of your images sharper. So I'm still thoroughly enjoying photographing my local area, and you find me here today still well within my 10-mile radius. I live just over Morecambe Bay in that direction, probably about 3 or 4 miles as the crow flies maybe, so really not that far. And this is another small section of Morecambe Bay that I've never explored, and it is stunning. Let me tell you, we've got beautiful little secret secluded coves, we've got wooded cliffs. It's currently low tide, so the sea's miles out there, so we've got this whole huge beach to play with. It is top draw. On top of that as well, it's forecast for a really nice sunset, so fingers crossed that all happens. That'll be an absolute bonus. But yeah, lots to explore, and let's go and try and find some compositions. Listen to that. Silence, serenity, calm. I'll tell you what a stunning evening. An evening that makes me glad to be alive. Not a breath of wind. The birds are singing. The light is absolutely fabulous, let me tell you that. And what a location. Absolutely gorgeous. So I want to get a couple of shots, so I want to get a little bit of a wobble on, but this is going to be the first one of the evening. Not an image that I thought I'd get at this location at all. You can see this little beautiful wooded section here on atop one of these cliffs. It's just gorgeous, and I've been exploring around here for about half an hour, and I guess in many ways this is pretty much going to be a woodland shot. Now basically what I'm doing here is shooting back out through the woodland to the coast into the sunset, and it's pretty interesting. I'm just kind of playing with light a little bit, I suppose. I've got an incredibly high dynamic range in this photograph. I'm shooting pretty much directly into the sun, except from the fact that I've got this tree here in the foreground blocking the direct sunlight, but that sky is still incredibly bright, and the shadows here are really dark. So I'm not even really going to bother exposure bracketing or anything like that. I really like the huge contrast between the highlights and the shadows, and you know me, I love my dark shadows. So I'm just going to kind of embrace them really. They look really beautiful in the foreground, and I think without them really dark shadows, I don't think the light would be quite as special. Now compositionally, I've pretty much just got this sort of larger tree trunk here in the right hand third, let's say, of my image. And then, like I say, we're shooting through the woodland into that beautiful vista in the background and capturing a fair bit of Morecambe Bay. And I think this one, guys, is all about the light. So I'm going to grab this shot now. ISO 100, f9, 1/20th of a second, straight out the top draw. Now I'm going to scurry on back down this cliff because there's a shot I want to get before the sun goes down. And then I want to talk to you about how I managed to get sharp images every time. So, absolutely stunning. What an evening again. Things have been going pretty well since the end of lockdown, let me tell you. Just an absolute delight to be back out again. Now I'm set up and I'm basically just capturing the last few golden tones that we're getting from this incredible sunset. Pretty special this evening. And you can see we're set up and I've got these beautiful coastal cliffs kind of leading us off. Right off into the background there, and then around here somewhere there's a small little cave, which is just a nice little addition really. It's a really, I don't know, I suppose interesting, sinister subject kind of off there in the distance. But yeah, pretty much as soon as I got here, to be honest, this composition sort of jumped out to me. Absolutely stunning. So I've got the 16 to 35 on, and I'm zoomed right in at 35mm, and I've basically just got this one cliff on the right hand side here. There's a kind of red patch, you can probably see it around about there. I don't know, I just kind of liked, and I wanted it in the photograph in the foreground. And I suppose that is my foreground, and then it just kind of gets led naturally down the cliffs into that caves and then way off into the distance. And yeah, we were getting a few of them really nice golden tones, like I was saying. ISO 100, f9, and 1/25th of a second, and I think that one's pretty nice. Quite a nice, pleasant composition. So let me show you how I've managed to get it sharp. And this is so simple, honestly. For you guys that watch me regularly, you'll see me doing this all the time, but I just kind of thought, you know what, I've never actually stopped and explained the technique, explained what I'm doing. And it's basically manually focusing, but using the live view. So this one is a really good example. I basically found the area of the photograph that I wanted to focus on, and then using the live view, I'd get the old red square, pretty much where I wanted to focus, or exactly where I wanted to focus, sorry, and then I'd zoom in, just using the magnifying glass, obviously not zooming in using the lens, just to an area of the photograph, and you can see there, it's just an array of rocks on the side of this cliff. It's nothing particularly special, but then because I'm zoomed so far in, it means that I can get really pin sharp photograph because I'm so incredibly in control of the focus, especially being zoomed in or magnified this much. Absolutely brilliant. And this is something you do just get better and better at. At first I remember really struggling to try and get the focus correct, and it'd take me ages, and because I was doing it manually I was kind of thinking, oh no, I hope I'm doing it right. But yeah, just keep turning the focus wheel until you get it pretty much the best that you can get it. And what I love about this, like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with autofocus. I used it for the first couple of years of my landscape photography journey. Nothing wrong with it at all. But I love the fact that if I get this image home now and it is out of focus, I know it's me that's made the mistake and not like some sort of automated feature within my camera. And that's something that used to really wind me up with autofocus, especially in situations where it was quite dark. I always found, you know, the autofocus on my particular camera anyway would really struggle because, you know, it works off contrasts. And yeah, I just really like that with manual focus. You're in control, the same with everything else when you shoot with manual settings. And I find that quite comforting. So since I've started using that technique, I have never had a problem with blurry photographs, and I've never, been disappointed with the sharpness of my photographs, let's say. So give it a try. Really practical. You can go out and try it anywhere you want. Just get zooming in with the little magnifying glass on where you want to focus. And it's nice and specific. I tell you what an evening. I hope you like this image. So I don't want to go home just yet. It's so calm and serene. I know I keep saying that, but it is stunning. And what a treat to photograph such an evening like this. What a treat to be able to do this as a full-time job. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I know I've kept saying this like recently, but I'm just so perplexed to how I've not noticed this local beauty before in the past. It's been right under my nose, but I'm feeling grateful because I've managed to turn this whole lockdown scenario into a positive in many ways by really appreciating what is close to home. And yeah, another special evening that is just reinforcing that fact. So I'm going to take one more shot anyway. Oh, I'll tell you what, it is serene. I'm going to take one more shot. Last shot of the night, and we're into the blue hour now, and it's beautiful. I love the blue hour. I love being out in the blue hour, especially when it's like this, when there's no wind. There's something very calming about it, and I definitely don't photograph it enough. And I think in general, it's probably not given enough. It's not given the attention that it deserves. The blue hour is stunning, absolutely beautiful. So I'm trying to take an image here that really epitomises what the blue hour is about. We've got a few orange tones up there in the sky where the clouds have still caught from the sunset. But apart from that, everything's got a very sort of blue feel to it, which I really like, especially when you've got those orange clouds up there like that. It's a really nice contrast between the warmth of those oranges and reds and the blue tones. And I found like a little puddle or sort of pool of water here. It's just a nice foreground element, a nice anchor to the image, and that is very blue, and I like it a lot. And then we've got a nice sort of curve that leads off into the distance. Unreal, absolutely unreal. F14, ISO 100 and 1/5 of a second, and I've used the same focusing technique here to try and make sure that this image is sharp as. This time I focus a little bit more into the foreground. I focus pretty much into this little pool of water. I've zoomed right in again, maximum magnification, and then just manually focus with the focus ring until you get it sharp. It's so simple, it's so easy, it's quick, you get better and better at it the more you do it, but it always works. As long as you don't make the mistake as the photographer, which is easier said than done, especially where I'm concerned. But as long as you don't make the mistake, there's no reason why your images shouldn't be sharp going forward using this technique. Oh, what an evening. What an evening. I hope you like this one. So I'll tell you what, that is good for the mind. Mint little evening. Decent little set of photographs. Again, so close to the gaff. I can always come back here. Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. I miss photography so much. I'm just still feeling really grateful. So thank you so much for tuning in. Always appreciated. Hope you enjoyed the little focusing technique that I shared in this video. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you on the next one. Out.